Right, good evening boys and girls, welcome back to FTRL. We are back racing on Thursday nights with GT2 with a fresh look and a fresh format to go with it. We've got some familiar faces returning from last season. We've got a big return, we've got Peatman rejoining the division, and we've got a few new faces as well, so we'll go through all of that shortly. So the changes to the format, we are emulating the sort of Porsche Super Cup series, so everyone's in the GT3 Porsche. So cars are all identical apart from the paint jobs. We'll have 3 races tonight, all of 20 minutes or about 19 laps. There'll be an 8-minute qualifying session, so the first race will be determined by qualifying order. Second race, the grid will be formed of the finish from race 1, and the third race will be a reverse grid race. So the guys have been split into 8 teams of 2, although we've got 1 missing tonight, which has enabled us to do the stream. So I'll run through the teams. So partnering's on, we've got them nicely on screen together there, is Nobby Norris. They are Royal Nobbois Racing. With Donzo, he's partnered by SBY, and they are Thursday Sweat Motorsport, so probably two of the strongest runners from last season teaming up, so that is probably going to be a pretty strong team, one to watch out for. We've got Recipe for Jam, he's partnering Josh, and they are Endangered GG. Nexus Cats is going to partner Spike, and that team is Spike the Cat. On screen now we've got Steph, who will be partnering FIBA, and they are 13 Motorsport. Interestingly, they've decided to put 7s in place of the T's, as that is FIBA's favourite finishing position. We've got Oven being partnered by Max. Max isn't here. Here we go, Oven Racing under his alias James Plays. And I think that is our 8 teams covered. Oh no, forgot Mikey. It's easily done. Yeah, Mikey being partnered by Carl, and that will be Manshaft Graphicos. So the early laps coming in, and Donzo has set the pace with a 106.2. Tell me I've done all that and I forgot to do this. So with the race formats, we've gone for a pretty simple point system. So it will be 16 points for first, 15 points for second, 14 for third, and so on down to a single point for 16th. There's no wild cards this season as we had in previous seasons, so there's no double points weeks, so it's just flat out racing. We've got no tyre wear, no fuel wear, so it is just foot to the floor for 20 minutes and the fastest man will win. Interestingly, SBY and Donzo working quite well together, getting a bit of a tow train going with one another. And as always, there is also the bonus point for pole position. So, just before we get into the race, I just want to mention that we have got another GT series being put together at the moment, which will hopefully be running, which is going to be running on Sundays. It's the GT 700 series, which will be using a selection of Group 3 cars, which will all be tuned up to around 700 bhp. We've managed to get Quaif on board. I think they're going to do a little bit of promotion for us, so hopefully that will get a few more viewers in on a Sunday. If there's any of you out there that haven't seen the posts or you want to take part, get in contact with Junkie Sport and he'll get you sorted in the right direction. So yeah, the eagerly anticipated return of Peatman. I imagine there'll be a lot of love for Peatman out in the chat, so yeah, with the short nature of this circuit, there's not a lot to split the drivers at the moment. We are some very, very fine margins between positions.
Howdy. I mean, I'm watching from the stream, but I shall try and commentate and give you on because I'm nice like that.
Well, I'm just on board with Mike, and it seems like his lag bug from last night has returned.
It does look that way, but it's not as bad as it was yesterday. So fingers crossed. I mean,
well, we've got the end of the qualifying session, and it is SBY on pole position.
no.
So Thursday Sweat Motorsport have taken the front row for race 1.
Well, I've done a little bit of practice with a couple of the boys. I've done race lobbies with SB1 and Donzo, and they have very quick. So I'm not massively surprised that they have done so well. But
yeah, Feeble with a very good P3 showed a lot of promise last season, so I think he's got a lot to build on.
He did, but I don't think he'll be happy that he's P3. I think he's too high. So
No, he'll want to swap places with Steph, who's in his P7.
A wild panda in P4. He
Yeah.
did only start practice at 7:20, so to be so close, he's done very well.
Yeah, we've got Oven making his debut in P5.
We do indeed. Hopefully he'll stick it out. Like, I want to see Oven finish a season of something. It would be nice.
Oh, could you imagine?
So I've got fingers crossed.
It's 2020, so you know. It's been a funny year, so strange things could happen.
It has indeed. Well, there's a few people asking in the chat saying, what's the best livery on the grid? I mean, it's very difficult to choose. There are some stunners.
So, I think if you held a gun to my head and asked me to pick one right now, I quite like the sort of comic strip on Panda and Peatman's cars.
Yeah, it's been fantastically done by SBY. However, I think what SBY has done for himself and Donzo is pretty spiffing as well. There's some bright cars this season, which is always nice.
Well, easy to spot. Anyway, we've got a grid of 15, so should have plenty of action throughout the field as we get set to go for a 19-lap blast around Bluemoon Infield.
If Mikey's lag's bad, he might be P1 by turn 1, but we'll see. Who will start best? I mean, they're all in the same car, so...
Well, like I say, in the same car it all looks pretty even. SBY's held the inside against Donzo. Feber has got his nose in there for turn 2.
I fully expect to see. Oh, someone's around. That's not what you want at turn 1.
Oh, SBY drifting it through the right kink. He's lost the momentum, that's allowed Donzo through, Feber's through. Panda makes his way through. He's being swallowed up, his SBY.
Has indeed. Well, that's it. I've raced with SBY in this car on this track. I know if he does drop in the pack, he can make his way back through.
Yep. Oven's got him through the left-hand hairpin, or the double apex left-hander.
Oh, Oven sideways. No. Never seen a sideways Oven. Would that work?
So I've not seen many kitchen appliances drift. We've got a drag race between Steph and Zom for P7.
You'd expect to see Zom win it because he had a little bit of slipstream, but
Zom's taken the wide line and Katz has tried to nip through the middle of them, but going around the outside has actually worked out for Zom.
Yeah, that was... I think Steph braked a little early, make sure he got the airbags, but yeah. I mean, I'm interested to see how it's going to play out this season. I mean, we saw some of the better, or from my opinion, the better racing in GT2 last season, and now we have everybody in the same car, so... I mean, Panda's picked up a half-second penalty, which I didn't think was possible.
Yeah, and Oven's got himself up into P3.
He has indeed. Aaron's asked, can you display all the race info on the screen? Please.
Yeah, I was getting to it.
I was going to say, you've got to pick the right time, because anything can happen at any time.
Yep, Steph Zom made contact in turn 1.
Oh, that's not what you want.
Steph's lost a few positions after a brush with the wall.
I just left a party that had both of them in it, so that would have gone down well. To be fair, I think it's probably just because Steph supports Spurs, so yeah.
Well, FIBA at the moment is starting to put a bit of pressure on Donzo.
Well, FIBA not quite as used to this car. I mean, he's still doing 2,500 miles in the car, but not as much as Mercedes. But some of the mileage in the car, it's nice to see the boys taking it seriously.
Well, FIBA using the toe, going to go around the outside of Donzo as a bit of a rub.
Turn 1 is not an easy corner to try and make an overtake. Car under compression, it can bounce anywhere if you get it wrong, so...
It's a very, very tight battle for P1 now. It's a 3-car battle with Will or Panda lurking just in the background, ready to pick up any scraps of this.
Okay, considering Panda didn't have the car at 7 o'clock, so he's doing very well. I think he's been taking lessons off Lennon, which is never good.
I was going to say, that sounds very Lennon-esque.
But yeah, SBY with that wiggle earlier, I mean, if these boys in front start fighting, he will jump onto the back of them very quickly. I mean, I've just seen Will, aka Panda, in the background flashing frantically. It means he's going around the corner, so go on, Will.
A bit further down the order, things are a little bit more spread out.
They are indeed. I mean, little bit of incidents at the turn 1, and I mean it's bound to happen with racing this close, but yeah.
Well, Donzo had managed to stretch the gap a little bit over FIBA, but FIBA's had a better opening half to this lap.
Just for reference, Mikey has managed to do 4 laps and not pit, so he's got out of that F1 mindset, so that's nice to see.
Well, Panda giving Oven something to think about.
Can you fit a Panda in an oven? I think we're about to find out. Be a big oven. But yeah, these two fighting, it's dropped them off the back of FIBA, so we've now got a 2-car battle for the race lead, a 2-car battle for 3rd and 4th, and SBY is closing good.
Just up ahead, FIBA's had a look around the outside of Donzo, but hasn't made it work. I don't know why, but I've done a few race runs in this Porsche around this circuit. I mean, I'm supposed to be in GT1, but I've been doing GT2 practice, and I'm hoping you've done more GT2 than GT1.
I forgot about GT1, but from my perspective, the car really doesn't like to be slid about. It likes to be nice, flat, and level. There's a lot of understeer in the front end at low speed.
Well, there's a lot of sliding from the rear end on that Porsche of Ovens.
There is indeed.
He's certainly throwing it around.
I think he's treating it a lot like an F1 car, which they don't like.
Donzo having to go defensive to the inside for turn 1 again.
He is indeed. I mean, with Owen, aka GMs and Panda attacking each other behind, they're not losing any time, so...
No, Panda's lost a bit of time to James and has allowed SBY onto the back of him.
Junkie Sport has made a bit of P6, so... I mean, I know he was quite angry halfway through qualifying, which is nothing new for Junkie Sport, but... yeah, I mean... we saw this sort of thing from FIBA last season. If he's in a position that he's happy with, he won't fight it tooth and nail, but if you leave the door open, he will take the moves, so... He does have fastest lap currently, so he's trucking along quite well in that Porsche.
Yeah, here he goes again, looking to the outside. Looked a bit closer that time than the previous lap.
I mean, by the looks of it, Donzo's quite happy with that inside line.
And SPY's got ahead of Panda.
He has indeed. Well, hopefully for those two, they work together and don't fight too hard, so they can catch it one at the back of James. Because in the background, Junkie Sport is only 2.5 seconds back and is starting to close up.
Yep, he's dropped Zom in P7, who's now got Peatman all over his rear wing.
Yeah, City Porsche with a valid point. It is weird to see a lap count rather than a timed race in GT Sport for us, but it's going to take some getting used to. Well, FIBA seems quite happy to keep trying this outside line. I mean, are we going to see a Cole Trickle-esque manoeuvre on the last lap where he sort of feints to the outside and just sends it down the inside? I'm not sure.
As I say, he might just get Donzo into that sense of I know what he's going to do. He's done it every lap, and then yeah, he'll just catch him by surprise one lap. So Donzo's got to be wary of that.
I mean, but consistency from Donzo is on point at the moment. I've just seen those lap times.
I'd say those lap times are pretty steady.
They are indeed. Well,
but then again, so are FIBA's.
Yeah. Well. However, James, well, he was closing, but obviously not having slipstream down the straight, he's lost 2 tenths in a straight line, so he needs to be at least 3 tenths quicker.
That was wide.
To make gains. Michael suggesting that FIBA needs to stay close and get him at the hairpin. I mean, it's you've got to plan your moves out, because I mean, if you make a move one lap, like, you are susceptible to the straight the next lap. It's
We've just lost recipe for jams, so that's 14 cars in the lobby now.
We have. I won't join just yet in case he joins back for rest too.
Well, Panda having a look at SBY for P4.
Not gonna lie, it will make my life a lot easier as commentator, because then I won't hear my own stupid voice, which I am sorry that everybody else is having to deal with.
Yep. And Will, in taking that P4, also took fastest lap.
Well, that's definitely the first 105 lap that Will's done, so... I mean, to be fair, this sort of lobby settings might play to Will's strengths. He's not one to practice on GT, he just sort of spends a half an hour on it and has fun with it. But doing the same track 3 times over, you're going to learn the track very quickly. So... I mean, if a win is going to anyway, I would suggest it's going to be the top 5 at the moment. That gap behind is extending, so... FIBA again, trying the outside. Donzo covers well to the inside.
Well, he had a good go that time, because he was momentarily P1.
Yeah, I was going to say, all it takes is taking that compression through turn 1 a little bit wrong. misses your braking point by 5 to 10 metres and you're wide at turn 1. So if you can take someone off their favoured line and make them look in the mirror just that little fraction, mistakes are easily made.
Well, Junkie Sport at the moment's looking pretty comfortable in P6. Pete's got ahead of Zom for P7.
I mean, considering it's a comeback for Pete after he missed last season, he's not really showing any rustiness. He's still up there, so.
Here comes Fieber again.
Well, I'm not sure if Nexus Cats is still dealing with a wheel issue, but he's not 100% with his wheel at the moment. It's sort of off centre, so. I can only imagine how disrupting that can be.
Well, SBY and Panda are having a good scrap. They've swapped positions again.
Oh, SBY in the grass. I mean, we're already past our distance, so the race is chugging along. But yeah, it's not going to be easy overtakes this season. You're going to have to plan them out. Slipstream will help, but yeah.
Panda up the inside of SBY again. P4 changes hands again.
Working for the overtake, whoever seems to have it seems to get the move done.
Oh, Will's clipped the wall. And that's allowed SBY back through. Just turned in a fraction too early.
It is very easily done. I mean, I do think that Will or Panda will be getting some encouragement from Aaron in the party, so maybe a little bit too much encouragement there.
This is probably as close as Feber's ever been.
I was going to say the battle for the front two is as close as it's been. No wall contact, so he'll have a very good slipstream.
He's been forced high again.
I said Donzo defend low.
He's riding it out.
It's possible to go around the long way.
He's held it. He's got the lead. Great move.
Fantastic move.
It's not finished yet though. Donzo trying to come back at him. Has Donzo got the overlap for the hairpin?
Oh, Fever ran out the grass a little bit. Want to help us exit. In the background, SBY and Panda are side by side as well.
Oh, Fever's tagged the wall. Donzo's just giving him a little push. But that's allowed Oven right in there.
Honestly, all it takes is one little bit.
The momentum Oven's got over these two having that contact.
Whatever you do, don't let Oven win a race, please.
Well,
we won't see him again.
Well, with just a couple of laps to go, that possibility is on.
It is indeed. Can he handle the pressure? We've seen Donzo was able to hold it, but I mean, see, you're waiting for a famous line from me, however.
Oh, SBY's lost it under brakes.
Oh no.
That's allowed Junkie Sport up into P5. SBY's just getting going now.
The slightest clip on the grass and the brakes. Very easy to unsettle these cars. Well, we now have a 4-car train for the race lead. How did that happen? I say that, James has got a very good run up the straight. And slipstream is 7.5 tenths, so he's out of range.
Donzo under attack from Feeble once again.
Oh, Jim's very sideways in front. Wow.
Feeble's caught the grass, he's at the back out of that, that's allowed Will through.
It's getting spicy.
It is 2.5 laps to run.
Two laps to go, and I can't call a winner, so I say the changes are working, so. Well, what does Donzo have? He's led a lot of this race. Can he find a good run?
Now, I hate to be the jinx, but Oven is susceptible to a bottle. We've seen it many times in F1.
I mean, I think he's had that many.
With 2 laps. Yeah. With just 1.5 laps to go now, he's on the cusp of a debut GT Sport victory. But he's not going to have it easy.
There is traffic in front. I mean, it's unlikely he'll catch Spike, but I mean, traffic does not ghost on GT. All it takes is just that little flicker, just to catch your eye in a braking point. I mean, if you told me before the race that Panda would be P3 starting the last lap, I wouldn't believe you.
Spike has let this lot go, so very sporting of him.
Look, yes it is. All 3 races will be 19 laps. I mean, we've seen James have trouble with traffic before, but in F1, which was very comical. I suggest you go back to watch Silverstone. That was very funny. Well, James has done the hard part.
You would suggest all he's got to do from here is not clip the wall on the exit of this final left kink.
And if he does, be very good at placing his car.
Oh, he's clipped it. Oh, it's now a sprint to the line.
Donzo
James or Donzo. James has held it. It's a debut victory. Donzo's second, Panda third is your top 3.
I mean, we said we wanted close racing, and we've had a 10th covering the top 2. So,
well, SBY after his difficult race ends up in P6. Junkie Sport pipping him to P5. Peatman on his return finishes race 1 in P7. Zom in P8. Steph ends up in P9 after that early contact. Josh rounds out the top 10, and then we've got Nexus Cats coming home in 11th, with Nobby Norris in 12th, and Mikey crabbing his way round the final corner in 13th, and Spike finishing in 14th.
Oh,
so
yeah, I've just seen Mikey on 3 wheel.
Yeah.
Wow. Nice work, Mikey. Bit of stunt driving on the last lap. Well, I'll drop a message in the Discord to see if should know this. Who was it that left?
Jam.
There you go. I shall message Jam and see if he's coming back.
But But yeah, if that first race is a sign of things to come this season, I think we're in for some fun.
We are indeed. I mean, it opened up very early on, which I didn't anticipate. But I mean, battle for the top 5 was fantastic. I mean, I'm sort of scared to say that the preheat of them won a race. Like, how does that happen?
Like I said, it's 2020. It's just 2020 things, mate. That's the only way it can be explained. But yeah,
Well,
the luck brought up the point. Was that a race lost for Donzo or Fiba, or was it a race won for James?
I'd say it's very early on in the season to say it's a race lost. But yeah, it did come down to a mistake. But that's what it's going to be this season. If you make one mistake,
But yeah, I mean,
you're probably not going to win it.
James pounced on it. Very opportunistic, but he got himself to the front and he held it.
Well, I did ask James what happened and how did he do that, and he responded, "I don't actually know what happened. I don't remember the race." Well, unfortunately for you, James, you've now got to go out and do it again. So,
And he's got to do it from the front because race 2's grid is determined by the finishing order of race 1. So it will be
Yes,
James
indeed.
going from pole. So he'll be the one leading down to turn 1, punching that nice Porsche-shaped hole in the air for everyone else to follow along behind.
well, if Jam doesn't come back before the start of this race, I shall hop in the lobby.
Now we can have Pagani in real time.
Yeah, it's disproportionate, and I'm hearing my own voice, which is annoying.
Off-putting, yeah.
Don't know how you boys put up with me. You sound terrible. But yeah. I mean, there'll be some boys who won't be happy with race 1, but that's the good thing. You've still got 2 more races to go out and get the result you want, so yeah. It is. I mean, we've had 1 race, and I'm already loving this new feel to FTRL GT. It just feels spicy. You don't know what's going to happen, who's going to win, who's going to be where. It's fantastic. I mean, hopefully it means Tom won't be on pole or on the front row. Or
Well, for us it's a little bit different for us because the cars have got some sort of variance. Some are better at some things than others, but with this is just brilliant. Same car, no tyre wear, no fuel wear, just pin it and the quickest man comes out on top.
Cool. Well, I've been told by the admin I can hop in, so I'm going to do that. So apologies if I'm quiet for 30 seconds, it's because I'm trying to load GT and I'm not brilliant at things. The worst thing is I've just installed Discord on my tablet and it won't shut up. I shall fix that problem. I will not fix that problem. Oh fuck! I broke something else. Okay, we'll leave that.
You did say you weren't good at things.
Yeah, I knocked something off. It's fine. It's only a phone. It's not mine. Don't care. Oh, I can hear donuts. Someone's bored.
Is Tom here?
Now, James and Zom are not in their cars, and they've only got 1 minute to do so. So, yeah. Who's doing donuts? It is Josh. Well, finally here. It feels weird to be now live. Wow. Well, who's going to come out on top in this race? I mean, it's impossible to decide who, but... Michael reinforcing my point that nobody is complaining about me being quiet. He'll not be doing a practice start, is he? He is indeed. But with no traction, these cars are not the easiest to get off the line. However, he's done very well. Get the wheels spinning, then lift momentarily to get that traction back and then flat back on the floor. Or just put traction to 2 and just pray. Like, that's what I normally do, because I am incompetent. But yeah. How will everyone do in this race? Will we see more contact into turn 1? Oh no. Well, I've got to jump back out, so that was fun while it lasted, boys. I'll go back to watching the stream. Fine. Didn't want to be in the lobby anyway. I shall be back.
See you soon.
Come back to me, stream. But yeah, what was he? Different pressure being applied to us, and now he has to start from the front row. I mean, it did look like he made a good start last time, but...
Yeah, well, Donzo started to apply the pressure on that final lap of the last race. He just ran out of time to do anything about it.
Well, I think I've just been told I can again. I'm going to wait until the race starts, and then I'm going to make a decision. It's going to be the easiest, I believe. Well, these things happen when you try something new, and yeah. We'll just say technical difficulties, it's perfectly fine. I've been told by the league owner himself that I can join, so I shall join. And if I have to leave again, it's not my fault. Probably is my fault, it usually is. As long as GT doesn't do what F1 normally does, and whenever I join a lobby on that, it makes me have a car, which isn't fun. Remember, I've done 2 formation laps in my time in F1 in commentary, which is not something you can say about real commentators. Yeah.
Oh, James looks like he's jumped the start. He has.
Oh no.
So our pole sitter is going to drop right to the back. So it's Donzo leading them away this time. Junkie Sports up into P2 already. He's had a pretty good start from P5.
As indeed, what we did ask, can James handle the pressure? Well,
he's cracked immediately.
Yeah. Sorry, James.
Panda cutting grass, yep.
There's no bamboo out there.
Phoebe's up the inside at the hairpin.
Well, Junkie Sports had a fantastic start up to P3. Usually a very difficult man to overtake is Junkie Sports. I say that as he's gone on the grass. I'll shut up now. Sorry,
so trying to make it easy for Phoebe. He's tagged the wall just to punctuate that point.
Background spiked a little bit wide, clipped the grass and has dropped off the back of the grid, unfortunately.
James, after that disastrous start, has recovered up to P9. He was under pressure from Cats, going down into turn 1.
Tricky spot's trying to get up the inside of Fever. Fever holding it all the way around the outside.
Cats is off in the grass at turn 1.
The last time I checked, Cats don't play nicely in grass, so... Yeah. Well, yeah. Donzo's made a break. He's a second in front.
Yeah, he's not hanging around this time. But he's got that same man in his mirrors. Now that he's got past Junkie, so let's be wide looking to make a better go of it this time around. Up into P4, be looking to apply some pressure to Junkie. Who in turn has a run on Fever.
So Steph hasn't had the best start. He's currently P10. I think he started P9, so yeah. He's not going up on for the first one. Maybe you can buy like a really good engine that hasn't been used for 4 years, but like Gareth Bale. See if that works. But I mean, the battle for P2 is basically 4 cars wide, which is fantastic to see, but I imagine it's quite scary to be involved in. Oh, someone's off in the background.
Yep, so that's Zom.
It was indeed. Has a car the colour of grass, and surprisingly, it's attracted to grass. Well, to be fair, Zom is a drag racer, he probably doesn't like corners, so... Well, Junkie Sport has made his way past, so he's now in front of Fever. But, the gap to Donzo is now 1.7 seconds. If Donzo doesn't tag the wall... Donzo tagged the wall, okay, that sort of invalidated my point, but, yeah.
He's not cost him too much, though.
Well, my question is, can Pete hop onto the back of his 4-car train for P2?
All he needs is them is to start having a look at one another. Start trying these little half moves that was going on sort of middle of race 1, and he could very well be on the back of that.
I think James is annoyed with himself. He's all back up to P7. He's not hanging about, but he's made his own life very difficult in this one. And they're having a look at an SPY. Don't get the move done. SPY hold on, but Fever's clipped the grass in front. Has to go defensive. SPY to the outside. Ooh, gets a better run than Fever, but nowhere to go. Don't hit the wall, boys.
Junkie has.
He has indeed. It's lost even more time to Donzo. Donzo is running away with this one.
We're going to be 3 wide down to turn 1.
Oh no. Boys, don't do it. No, I think SPY is clear, is he? I think not.
Oh, there's a tag.
Contact. No, City Porsche will be happy I said it. It was involuntary, it just came out. Yeah, Fever's dropped.
Well, if City Posh is playing Pagani Bingo, he can check that one off. Yeah, SPY.
I'll start bring a bingo song.
So yeah, SPY making up 2 positions in that turn 1 action.
Did indeed. Teammates were running P1, P2. SPY will be hoping he doesn't spin out in this one. Yeah, City Posh is happy. Well, James has got past Peteman, is up to P6. So now he's the man to try and chase down this 4-car train for P2.
Yeah, he certainly seems to have a bit of pace about him at the moment, so...
I say that, but he had a wiggle come on the straight, so Peteman's got the run. He's fully alongside into the braking zone. So will be the most committed on the brakes. Very equal, no contact, surprisingly. Fantastic move. Peteman gets the move done. And holds on to his 6th place, but that move has cost them both a second to the cars in front.
Yeah, and they're not finished yet. As James has a look at the inside of the hairpin.
I mean, it's a very clean move. Peter made it quite easy as you always... Oh, who's off?
Fever's
off. No, hang on. I'm calling shenanigans. He dropped immaculately into P7. Like,
how convenient.
No, he has tagged the wall though. Josh has got to run. Fever's teammate is also approaching quickly. Steph. Oh, Junkie Sport is having a go at SBY. Feinted to the outside, made the move to the inside, but SBY holds on. Junkie Sport going for the Mansell-esque move.
Fever has stayed ahead of Steph in that battle between teammates.
Oh.
But yeah, Donzo's checked out to the tune of 3.5 seconds in the lead.
I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but I would say that if Donzo just has a clean race from now to the end, he should win. However, that was said about me yesterday in F1 and I completely nearly bottled it, so... Yeah, don't listen to me, Donzo, just drive your own race.
Steph and Fever have swapped positions somewhere on this lap.
They have indeed, and Panda's clawed his way onto the back of Junkie Sport, so we have 3 for P2. As Panda sets fastest lap again.
Nobby Norris has had a moment out of the double left.
Don't know.
But Junkie round the outside of SBY. Almost got it to work. But yeah, Panda's right in there now.
There's nothing worse than a grassy knob. I'm in a grassy knobby. That's just never good. Yeah, will Panda be able to have a look into the hairpin? He's had a good run.
Just have a look in the background behind these guys. If this battle for P2 intensifies as it is, Oven's on the prowl.
James has stopped bottling it and he's starting to put in the lap times now. Donzo looks quite happy, he's extending that gap.
James!
James, you do not work in a bottling plant. Drive the car straight.
He nearly did then. Now Panda's got a run at Junkie.
He has indeed. In the background, Fever and Steph have swapped places once again on this lap. Oh! Panda and Junkie Spot. There was like 3 moves made in one corner. That was interesting. However, Panda comes out on top. Has allowed James to close in. Oh, Junkie Sport's off.
Yeah, he's got a fast approaching oven.
Does indeed. The only oven I've seen go quick is one that was falling down a mountain. Oh, James looking at the inside early. Junkie Spot leaves his space. There's a bit of contact. Shut up, City Posh. However, that battle has ensured that Pete is now closed up. Junkie Spot tagged the wall, come onto straight, so Pete is now within half a second, so it sort of allowed this battle for P2 to pull away to the tune of 3 seconds from James. SBY is doing his best to close his team, and he has closed half a second. And went purple in sector 1, so he is pushing. But we did see SBY push last season and sort of overdrive the car, and that's when mistakes can happen. All it takes is a little clip of the grass. We saw in the first race, he clipped the grass and spun the car. Like, at this point, are you going to catch a 3-second lead with... How many laps did it go? It's not on my screen because I joined late, which is always good. We're on lap 10.
No, we've got 9 laps.
There we go. I can do maths. Well, Phoebe's back in P7, so what's happened to Josh? because Josh was in front.
Yeah, I just see Josh going defensive against Zom.
We haven't seen much of Zom so far, but he is in his favoured place, a straight line. So. Oh, Zom had a good look at Josh as Josh went deep into the corner. Josh holds on that. Mikey is.
Ooh, Josh tagged the wall there through that left kink and settled him.
Zom's got the run.
Certainly has.
I think he's got the overlap coming into the hairpin. He does. Josh breaks late. He's not
Very
going to
late.
stop that. Zom gets the position. Can Josh fight back? Oh, he's cut the grass. Oh. You don't want to do that. That was very sideways. Did very well to hold on to it. I mean, I've just gone back on board with Mikey, and he's trying the suspension out on that Porsche very well. Well, Josh has got a good run on Zom. Zom has gone defensive early. Josh looks to the outside. They are side by side. Who will brake latest? Both brake very evenly. Josh tries it on the outside.
Yep, Zom leaning on Josh.
Oh, more contact. But Josh has made the manoeuvre. Very good manoeuvre on the outside into the warm. Not an easy one to pull off. However, up front, SBY has pulled away massively from Panda, and James is now within his way, just over a second behind Panda. Oh, Josh and Zom, though, this battle is fantastic. Zom now trying to look around the outside to get a better exit. What can he do coming up the straight? Will there be a tag of the wall? There is not, but Zom's had a very good run through the last corner. SBY is trying to close up on the back of his teammate, put a little bit of pressure on. But it's not happening so far. However, in the background, Zom is up the inside of Josh.
Oh, that depression really unsettled Josh then.
It did indeed. James is now within a second of Panda.
Yeah, he's going to start getting a bit of a toe down this main straight.
Yeah, I think lap 11, I think Panda's had a wiggle because he was 2 seconds off his normal lap time, so that's probably where the time's evaporated to. I mean, I say probably, it's the only place it could have gone, but...
Well, SBY's got that gap in front down to 2 seconds.
I'm going to say, it's definitely coming down, but... Yeah, we've seen Bonzo held up to the pressure very well in race 1. Oh, Panda through the compression. Car was unsettled. James behind was completely sideways, but gained 2 tenths. So,
I mean, it looks an aggressive driving style from James, but it's working for him.
I was going to say James is clipping the apexes, especially through that middle sector, very well, and it's just setting the car up like 10 mile an hour quicker through some of the S section, and it
1.5 seconds out in front now.
is coming down. Well, the gap between James and Panda is now half a second. Definitely in slipstream range. Coming straight. Panda's had a little dab of the brakes coming on at the last corner.
He got very close to the outside wall as well.
Indeed. Now we've seen James do some last gap lunges on the last lap frequently, which made him lose a championship once, which, yeah, he won't be happy, but I think he's calmed down a lot since then, so it'll be nice to see how he takes his battle with Panda. I mean, strangely enough, James has more or less matched the fastest lap on that last lap. So at the moment, Panda and James are going quicker than Donzo. So not massively, but they are closer. And Fever is right in the back of Pete now, and Pete is closing the back of Junkie Sport. So battles up and down the track, and Josh is still within a second of Zob. So yeah, a little bit of everything going on. Panda's had a good run on the straight, so I wouldn't think James will be able to attack into turn 1. He's having a look though.
So Will took a very wide entry into 1.
James was very sideways, tagged the back of Panda.
I say that wide entry from Will just invited
Will's
James in.
Hit the wall again. Oh
Oh,
no,
and he's
Will.
dropped it. No.
Everyone's favourite bamboo merchant is off. Zom in the background has clipped the grass and spun as well in the exact same place.
Oh, it's all going off.
It's all kicking off. I mean, up front is also kicking off. There's only a second between the front two.
Yep. Well, final 3 laps now.
Is indeed. How does Gonzo deal with pressure from his teammate? Panda recovered the P8, so he'll be starting mid-grid from there if that's where he stays in the reverse grid race. It's going to be interesting to see how the drivers come through the field, or if they come through the field. Times are looking very close. However, some drivers are a lot more consistent than others at the moment. Up front, that gap is staying around a second. Donzo's starting to respond now. You would think, unless there's contact between the teammates, that it's down to those two for the race win.
I've got a comfortable 8-second gap back to Oven.
Junkie Sport is trying to hold off Pete. Gap's still a second in Fever.
And as I say, Pete's bringing Fever with him.
He is indeed. Unfortunately for Fever, he's now into P6 after Panda's spin, so yeah, not his beloved 7th.
But he let off and let Steph through.
Up front, SPY's gone purple in sector 1. He's now within 7/10 of his teammate. Pressure is going to be on for that last lap. It looks like James behind and now turns into Tom from Division 1 because he's drifting that Porsche more than what he should be. Oh, Pete's gone defensive in the background. Fever is right on the back of him now. Battles up and down this grid. It's what you want to see, but you don't know where to look.
Well, out in front, unless Donzo makes a mistake, I think he's just about got this covered.
Oh, both of them very twitchy through the compression at 1. Pete's gone defensive on Fever. Which way is Fever going to go? He's going to go to the outside. He likes this outside line. Pete's gone defensive to the inside. Fever's broke very late. He's trying it around the outside. Both giving each other lots of space. It's not done. They're still side by side. Coming into 2. Still side by side. The grass on the outside. Pete just holds on. Oh, in the background, Panda's completely crossed up through the A section.
Donzo's only got one real corner to negotiate now. Don't tag that outside wall. He's avoided it. And Donzo is going to take race 2 from his teammate. So it's a 1-2 for Thursday Sweat Motorsport.
Fever had a look down inside at both hairpins, but Pete defended nicely. Oh, I think Mikey spun on the last lap, which is unfortunate. James comes home P3. However, after that start, it was a fantastic fight back.
After that start, he's got to be happy with that. Junkie Sport P4 with Pete in 5th, Fever 6th, Steph in 7th, Panda after his spin towards the end ends up in P8. Josh in P9 with Zom rounding out the top 10. Then Cats comes through in 11th ahead of Spike. Here comes Mikey.
Mikey in his bouncy Porsche. Unfortunate to lose it on that last lap. Nobby going for a weave across the line in P14. Yeah, unsafe, man. Fever had a fantastic recovery as well after an early grassy moment. So, yeah. A lot more grass than what I thought there might be. It's not filling me with hope for tomorrow, I must say.
Yeah, just got to remember you're not driving a lawnmower.
But yeah, we now go into race 3, reverse grid race, so how will SBY and Donzo fare from the back of the grid? I mean, we've seen James try and come through from the back of the grid and he did very well in that last race. So now who will do best at timing their overtakes, not rushing the moves? You don't want early contact.
Yeah, well, we've seen that overtaking can be quite difficult.
It can, but it can be done as long as you're committed, especially to turn 1. Seen some fantastic moves around the outside. Oh, Phoebe's racing end message. That was fun. Now who wants a cuddle? Probably Aaron. Aaron likes a cuddle.
Aaron loves a cuddle.
Yeah, now to the fun one. I mean, compared to the last few seasons, we've got fast-paced, brutal action. Only 2 minutes between races. It's definitely something different. It's going to take some getting used to, but I'm enjoying it. Racing's been fantastic. Hopefully it's this clean tomorrow. Nah, don't know what Tom's about. I don't know what Tom's like. He's in a fat Lexus as well, so.
There's no way to talk about Tom.
It's all the way to talk about Tom. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, to say the least. Just had a video from Mike, and yeah, with his lag currently, it appears everybody around him is using NOS. Of course, they're coming up on him very quickly. So, yeah. Well, I think Pete and SBY are having the slowest race known to man. Is Donzo coming into play? It looks like he is. Oh no, Pete's gone. Yeah, does someone want to tell Owen not to jump the start this time, and he'll probably do much better. But yeah. Who will come out on top? If you can tell me who's going to win this race, anyone, if you can tell me the lottery numbers for the weekend, that'd be quite nice. Because I don't have a clue whatsoever. Anything can happen. I mean, for all I know, I think Mikey is starting on the front row, so someone could be launched into space.
Yeah, it will be Nobby Norris on pole with Mikey alongside.
I mean, there is an aeroplane flying above the circuit. If someone makes it that high, I will pay out like 20 pence for someone.
Right, so if everyone on the left as we're looking at it can be wary of the tripod at the front.
Yeah, he does bounce up and down a little bit. It's like someone's having relations in the back of Mikey's car. I mean, it is rear engine, so maybe he likes that bit of extra weight at the back, I'm not sure.
It's like he's mounted the engine on the rear corner.
Oh, no, we got a little bit of wheel spin. Spike's had a good start behind. But it's me, Mikey leading into turn 1.
It looks like it.
It is indeed, covers the inside. I can't tell if he's gone deep or if he's lagged into the wall.
Well,
no, he's in the wall.
He's definitely in the wall.
Oh, he's upside down, I think. Oh no. Mikey is inside an oven. Can I say that?
You did.
That sounds illegal. Well, SBY has been caught up, unfortunately. But I think he'll have the pace to drop one on the back of the pack.
Well, Team Spike the Cat are in 1-2.
They are indeed. Steph up in P3. Zom looking racy in P4. Junkie Spot P5, what can he do from here? He's in tag the wall a couple of times. There's pandas mowing the bamboo on the outside.
You've got Oven trying to go around the outside and Nobby Norris through the left kink, and he's now got Fever up the inside around the final corner.
The Junkie Spot has gone very quickly to the inside line. Zom has gone to the outside, Fever's dropped in behind Junkie Spot, and James has gone in behind Zom, so don't make it 5 wide, guys. James is trying to get past Zom, so P6 gets the move done.
That was a lot of Porsche trying to get through. Turn one, and there's a few out wide. Fever's wide.
Clipped the grass.
Nice, dropped him right to the back, and Mikey legs his way past him.
In the background I just saw Panda flashing his lights furiously, but that could have been him just turning a corner, so don't read too much into it as he sends a move down the inside Donzo into the hairpin. Mikey's lagged his way past Nobby Norris, I think.
Donzo getting Panda back at the double left.
I'm not going to try and commentate over Mikey because I'm not entirely sure where he's at. However, Steph has made his way past Nexus Cats into the lead. However, Nexus Cats with the slipstream, it looks like he's got DRS open.
Zom's going to try and follow him. No. I think it's better off it. Steph very deep.
Line. That's not what she said, but yeah. Zom looking very racy in the opening laps. Is up to P2. I mean, this reverse grid was designed to throw results up in the air. Well, our top 2 from the last race, SBY is in P8 and Donzo is in P10.
Yeah, so the man that finished 3rd is up into 5th. So, Oven doing his party trick of making his way through the field.
Well, we're going to see Zom versus Cats down the straight. Steph just dropped back a little bit on the last corner, and James is going to try and get around Junkie Spot. Cats have gone defensive early. Which way does Zom go? Cats goes back to the outside, leaves the inside line for Zom. Zom goes to the inside, hits the apex. Cats trying to hold it around the outside.
So he's carried some good speed around the outside.
He has indeed. They're going side by side into turn 2. Not the easiest place to go side by side. Katz falls in behind, a little bit of contact, but Zom has just made an overtake for the race lead.
Yep,
Go on,
and
Zom.
while we were watching that, James did make his way past Junkie Sport.
He did indeed. Oh, Junkie Spot looking down the inside of the hairpin.
Steph having a look at the inside of Katz at the hairpin.
Oh, Pete is just floating around, just doing his own thing, but he's up to P6. Donzo is now P7, and SBY is P10. Those two have swapped places, which is fantastic. I don't know how they've done that. Teleportation exists in GT. Just look at Mickey's car. But yeah, Donzo's had a fantastic lap.
James now getting a run at Steph, and Katz and Zom are going side by side down to turn 1 again.
Yeah, indeed. We've seen that the inside line does tend to favour defensive driving, but you can make it work on the outside.
Katz tucks back in behind. James is up into third.
Trying to get past Steph, but doesn't get the best exit. Steph a little wider turn
Katz
two.
clips the grass.
Oh, where's he going to come back on track? Oh.
Well,
I think for how bad it went, it was as good as it could have been.
That could have been a lot worse.
Yeah. Comes up just in front of Donzo, race 2 winner. However, James is now P2 with only Zom in front. What can Zom do? Can he hold off the oven? I mean, it looks like James has very good pace. However, a few mistakes here and there. But he's gaining on Zom. Zom's gone to the inside early. James is going to have to go around the outside at 1. He's trying to switch back on the exit of turn 1. However, Zom well aware of it, keeps it planted to the inside. Bends position well. And grab back around. Pete's up to P5. Donzo's up to P6. He's making his way through the field. Next is Katz P7. SBY is up
Zom
to P8.
was wide out at the right kink. It's allowed oven through.
You would think that we're not going to see much more of James now with the pace he's shown, but Zom is looking very racy at the moment.
So, I really hope Zom can keep this up, because it's been a brilliant opening 6 laps for him.
It has indeed. He tags the walking up the straight though. Oh, Josh has left the room. Endangered esports are more endangered by the second. Where is Fever? Fever's up to P10. As Panda makes a move on Nexus Katz into turn 1. Steph is now looking racy behind Zom. What can he do?
We've got Donzo attacking Pete. SBY lurking in the background.
Obviously we've got the 3 mates together on track. However, not teammates this time around.
Well, 2 of them are.
Yeah. Left to repeat out. However, Pete fresh from his birthday high.
Yeah, Pete not doing his mates any favours at the moment, although he is giving them a good tow.
He is indeed. Well, Zom holding his own. He's still in front of Steph, but Steph looking to the outside, turn 1.
Here goes Donzo up into P5.
Zom holds on for P2. For now, these two are in a party together, so they will be getting egged on by Aaron more than likely.
Pete finds himself in the middle of a sweaty Thursday sandwich.
That doesn't sound fun.
No. Oh, bit of a twitch.
Pete's teammate is trying to get him to the back to try and help.
Pete calling for backup, but SBY's gone. Up into P6.
Made a break through the middle sector. Steph has dropped a second and is now at the hand of Junkie Sport down the
He's fallen into the clutches of Junkie.
And Donzo is rapidly approaching in P5. Within slipstream range of Junkie Sport. James is beginning to pull away up front, but he's very sideways into turn 1. Because SPY is set fastest lap on this one.
Pete's got a speedy looking Panda behind him.
He must be the first Panda that's ever looked speedy. And normally they just sit there and think about bamboo all day. James has pulled another second this lap, and Steph has closed the gap to Zom a little bit. Zom's just outside of slipstream range. Now with Donzo looking up inside a Junkie Sport into the last corner. It's not often you see a move up there.
I'm not sure he was trying to make the move. I think he was just trying to unnerve Junkie, force him offline a bit. But what he's done instead, he's slowed himself up.
Has indeed, and SBY will not think twice. He will make the move into turn 1 as he sets fastest lap. In the background, Panda has got past Pete. A switch between the teammates. As SBY is once again staring down the backside of the teammate.
He's a lot closer to it this time though.
There's nothing worse than staring at a sweaty backside, but yeah. In the meantime, Steph.
What you do in your spare time is your business.
Steph's made the move, but Zom is still looking. He's going to have another look down the second hairpin.
Oh.
Gets the move done, but they're holding each other up.
And we've now got a 5-car train for P2.
We do indeed.
Oh, he's clipped the wall.
Now Junkie Sport's got down the inside of Steph, coming off the bank, and he's also getting the slipstream from Zom. This is going to be tight in the turn 1. Junkie Sport's looking well down the inside. Gets the move. Zom drops to 3rd. Steph will be sick of the sight of that Volvoline car in front.
SBY still stuck staring at the back of his teammate.
Panda is closing and closing every lap.
Don's
P9.
I thought Don had an overlap on Steph then for the hairpin.
Might have a look though. We had a look. Steph left the room. We've had a wiggle and exit as Steph.
Panda's looking to buy into this in the background. It's getting closer.
We have a 6-car train for P2 at the moment. Like, these are the sort of battles I was anticipating, and now we have them. So can Pete get involved and we have a 7-car train? That would be fantastic. Donzo's having a mighty good look at Steph.
SBY going to follow him.
A little bit of bump draft between teammates. Gets them both through. Panda did try and follow, but Steph managed to hold on. However, in the foreground, Zom has not let Junkie Sport get away. However, Steph has picked up a half-second penalty, which is very difficult to do around this circuit, so he didn't awful well at cheating. Sorry, Steph. He is closing that gap, but he's also bringing Feber along too. Panda frantically flashing in front. Donzo is caught up to the back of Zom now. However, he's dropped his teammate SBY.
Yeah, he's under pressure from Steph, is SBY.
Indeed.
Oh, it's contact.
Contact into turn 1. Both of them keep it under control though. Steph looking to switch back into turn 2. Can he make it work? No, he drops in behind. But that's lost them all half a second again, so Donzo is now 1.5 seconds in front. So we now have a little 3-car train for P2.
Panda with a look at Steph.
Steph in a little deep. Steph still have the inside line for the second hairpin. He does. Oh, he clips the inside curb though, trying to leave Panda space. Maybe being a little bit too nice. However, we now have a 5-car train for, what's that, P5. So, yeah.
3 cars for P2.
If these boys want to catch up to the P2 battle, that'd be fantastic. However, in the background, Nobby Norris is just in front of Spike.
Donzo having a look at Zom. Zom just closed the door. But yeah, James with 2.5 seconds to the good over Junkie.
Well, fingers crossed, everything crossed that Zom manages to hold on to a decent position in this race. Nice simple more at the front. However, Donzo is having a look. There's space left. Zom will have the inside for the second hairpin. Oh, there's contact.
Bit of panel beating.
I mean, the Porsche dealer is absolutely going to love us by the end of the season. But Zom does hold on, but now SPY has joined the party. Behind them, Panda is doing what he can to bring the rest of the train along with him. I mean, James is quite happy up front. 3.5 seconds.
Here comes Donzo again on Zom.
He's well done inside this time, though. Zom a little squirrely. It's going to give SPY the run into turn 2. A little bit more panel beating, but they are side by side into turn 2. There's more contact.
I say Zom not giving this up, but has to yield in the end.
It does indeed, but now we have an 8-car train for P2. This might be a bigger train than Hungary in performance. This is bonkers. I am scared for tomorrow if this is the battle in GT2. Well, Spike is still in front of Nobby, but
Zom's hit the wall big time. That really slowed him up, and unfortunately Will had nowhere to go and just pushed him back up to speed.
Mikey just getting out of the way of everybody on the back straight. Obviously with a little bit of lag, he's just trying to get points for tonight and get it sorted tomorrow and hopefully be back up to speed. What can Donzo and SPY do about Junkie Sport?
Weber's moved himself up ahead of Peatman.
Indeed. What can Panda do about Zom? It seems like Zom's been fighting a rearguard action most of the race, but he's done it immaculately so far. However, Panda can't just look forward, he has Steph to worry about behind. And Fido will want his P7 from his teammate, so...
Junkie Sport will be hoping that Donzo and SPY start scrapping amongst each other.
He will be hoping, but I don't think they will. I think they'll work together. We've seen them bump drafting earlier on in the race. But we're on lap 7, taking already.
Zom's got Panda going around the outside into 1.
It's a brave move.
But Will's pulled it off, has he?
Has indeed, he's got the overlap.
Good move by Will.
Now the two protagonists that started battling at the start of this race, Zom and Steph, are now back together on the road, so...
Yeah, we've got Faber in there for good measure. He'll want that P7.
He will indeed. Oh, it's very tight. Wow. There is 4 cars covered by 2/10, which is, that's a very small gap for 4 cars. However, up front, Donzo and SPY haven't gained as much as what I thought they might do in Dream
No,
Sport.
I think they were very close to one another through the middle sector.
However, that battling from Zom, Steph and everyone else is
SBY bump drafting Don.
Well, the gap to the leader has come down by half a second, so James is just looking after things at the moment. Only 2 laps to go. Tonight has flown by.
It's 5 cars for peace.
Steph around the outside of Zom into turn 2. That was ballsy. That was a fantastic move. But SPY and Donzo are side by side coming at the hairpin. SPY looking down the inside.
He's got it.
Well, we did ask, are these two going to work together? Well, it looks like they're not at the moment.
Unless Don said, okay, SBY, you have a go. He's got 1 lap to do it.
Well, Steph just grazed the wall coming on the straight.
So
Gives Zom a run.
Oven's begun his final lap.
As indeed, Zom's gone to the outside early, Steph to the inside. Feber is gaining on the pair. Feber gives Steph a bump draft into turn 1. Helps him keep the inside line and keep the position from Zom. So
good teamwork, although Zom's looking for a cutback.
So Zom's got the inside line. Steph cannot hold it around the outside this time.
SBY with a late lunge at Junkie.
As indeed. Well, James is coming up to the penultimate corner.
So he's going to take 2 wins from 3 tonight and a 3rd. So fantastic night for James on his debut week.
So I would anticipate him being the championship leader. However, if
can Carl hang on for 2?
Oh, he's got the really defensive early. SBY's trying.
Gonna hold it, is he? Just about.
Donzo 4th, Panda 5th. What's happening behind? Steph and Zom side by side at the line.
Zom just held it. 1700ths of a second.
Feber, unfortunately, P8, just 1 outside P9. P9. Like, those 3 cars were covered by half a second at the line. That is just wow. Nexus Cats started up the front, got a good run early on, but fell down. Drop finishes P10 though. After wheel issues earlier, I think he'll be quite happy. Nobby into P11, spiked P12, and Mikey with connection issues. Just I think he's happy to get to the end of the race in P13. But yeah, I mean, we changed the rules and regs this season to spice up the racing, and I think it worked.
Yeah, you couldn't argue that tonight's races were boring.
They weren't boring, and you never knew who was going to win. So, yeah. I must say, well played GT2, that was fantastic.
Some brilliant drives all round there tonight.
If that's the calibre of the driving we're getting all season, I think we're in for another fantastic season from GT2.
Yep, well, that's GT2 done for their first week. Tomorrow night we hand the keys over to GT1. A similar rule set, slightly different in terms of the cars. We've got the Group 4s going around, so we're sort of emulating the British touring car. But yeah, it'll be no tyre wear, no fuel. The only difference will be that some cars will be better straight lines, some cars better through corners, but it should still be pretty damn close. So tune in tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, and yeah, hopefully we'll see some more door-to-door action, and we'll catch you then.